Jaylo?
Yes?
I don't like Siri.
Oh.
I never have.
Okay. That's interesting because when I've heard Siri before on other people's phones and Apple devices, it seemed to be working fine, but I guess Siri hasn't been working for you.
No, Siri's never worked for anybody, really. I mean,
how do you know not for anybody?
A gross overstatement.
That is a gross
because I know how much you love those. But
I do?
Yeah.
I never said that.
You have said it many times in private.
About your gross overstatements?
About them in general. Whether it comes from me, some commentator on the television. You love overstatements.
I never said that.
Siri to me has always been like a drunk Miss A. I know people love saying how, I love Siri and she's the best and blah, 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 blah. But these people don't know how to use it. So an example I'll give is people love sending text messages with Siri.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like 9 times out of 10, I can tell if they send a text message with Siri because of how badly things are spelled and, how there's no spaces in between words, or there's just all these weird mistakes whenever somebody sends a message at Siri, but we're not supposed to recognize it because everybody loves Apple.
Wow.
I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
A little bit.
No, but I never liked Siri. And back in the day, people used to complain about her a lot more.
It's an it, Bubs, an it.
You called Miss A her this morning.
Well, that was a slip, Bubs. I didn't call it a her, Bubs.
Or you said she when we were talking about weddings.
Well, what?
We were talking about weddings, and you called her.
I never said that, did I?
Yeah, I thought you did.
No.
Okay.
I never did.
I could have sworn you did.
Well, you were here.
I didn't have the recorder on because somebody doesn't like it. And that would not be me.
I never did like it. It's like I don't have a say in it.
What?
How are you recording me?
Oh, you love it.
No, I don't.
Oh, you do. I love
this is different because this is different because we have our own little thing going on with the podcast thing. But that's different. But I mean, actually recording me talking to you, I never said I liked it.
Well, I thought you did.
No, I have cheered when you said I don't have the recording equipment ready. Woohoo!
I thought what that meant, babes, is you misheard me.
No, I heard you loud and clear.
Okay.
My ears work just fine, thank you. I heard you loud and clear, and I said, "Yay! I don't have to worry about that."
Oh, what ifs? In any event, Jaylo.
You should ask me about these things once in a while. If I like something or not.
Okay.
It would be nice to have a say in this relationship we've got going.
You have a big say, babes.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
But it sounds like with the recording thing, I don't really have a say.
Oh, don't worry about that, babes. In any event, babes, I love Apple products, but Siri drives me a little bit up the wall, and I've never really played with her until now.
Okay.
Now, there's obviously other things. But we're going to do some experimenting with her today.
It's a robot.
Okay.
It's not a human, Bubs.
Oh my goodness. When you were in the shower, I was trying to play with Siri, and I was also trying to do it this morning when you were still asleep. Yeah.
I know.
I tried to do it on the sneak tip and be quiet about it. Hey, Siri.
No, I could hear you.
I know. I was afraid about that.
That's okay. That's fine. I get it. You're trying to work on it. Yeah, I was really excited yesterday because you have already downloaded a bunch of apps on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, my iPad mini. I keep getting those two things mixed up.
That's okay.
Anyway, the iPad mini, and you said you downloaded them, so I was kind of checking some of them out, and you made me an audio folder, which I thought was really cool. And we got to listen to Take the Floor.
That's right, and Music Planet.
Yeah, that was I was really happy that the guy, I'm guessing he's a musicologist, I forgot what his name was, he was hosting with, what's that girl's name?
I forget.
Tikel. I forgot what her name was. Catherine Tikel? I forgot. Anyway, British lady. And And he was playing this Filipino guy who I guess is a troubadour. And I'm like, wow, you can't get this anywhere else.
This was a rebroadcast from February of last year, 2021. And this man had just collaborated with some record company to put out a box set of music that was underappreciated from, I want to say, the 1930s through the 50s of world music.
Yeah, he did this. They played this one music from Ukraine. And I forgot what the instrument was. It was from 1930. 1930. That was really cool.
That was
cool. And they were able to digitally master it. We're thinking that they digitally remastered the recording. And then I heard the Filipino guy, and I thought it was kind of funny how they couldn't figure out how to translate it in English.
Yeah.
They had to laugh over it. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. And some of the stuff was kind of weird, but I liked it.
I have a really dumb question that I'm not sure you know the answer to.
What's that?
When did car radios become a thing?
I don't know. That is the one thing that we did not really study in my music classes was the beginnings of radio. I think it's fascinating, but we never talked about like when the car radio came to be or when radios were in people's homes.
I don't think you need to know the in and outs of it, but I think some basics would be important because it definitely changed the way people listen to music.
Yeah. But what we have come away with in my classes is that we don't actually really know like the we know about the early recordings of the Lomax family because they carried, that was around the time when they carried clunky tape recorders and they recorded people singing and instruments and everything. Yeah, it was interesting stuff. Have
you ever read that biography of Alan Lomax? I think it's called The Man Who Recorded Time.
I think I heard of it.
You might have heard of it through me. I read it.
Yeah, I think you told me about it. It must have been a really interesting book.
I thought it was pretty cool because I didn't know a lot of this stuff about Alan Lomax and how he worked with his dad.
Yeah.
Got Lead Belly, his freedom, all that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was a recording I don't think I told you about. I was taking this Pacific Rim class. One of the cultures we studied was Mexico. And somebody recorded this guy that was playing on a leaf. He played a leaf like an instrument.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they put an orchestra behind it. So they recorded an orchestra and they recorded him and they combined the two recordings is what it sounded like. I thought that is so cool.
That is.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. Yeah, and then some, studying the differences between tuning systems in other cultures and studying how Japanese music has a space between their notes. I think it's supposed to symbolize like I think it might have some like undertones of might be religious undertones, but I'm not quite sure if that's correct. It's interesting stuff.
I really wish that we had a recording equipment like way back in the day. But I think our oldest recording is from 1876, I want to say. And I think we've lost out on so many great speakers. Like, I've often wondered to myself, what would it be like if Benjamin Franklin had a podcast that was recorded back in his time, but we could listen to the archives now?
Right. Yeah. But then we keep forgetting that podcasts was never even thought about way back when they were alive.
No, but you know what I mean. It's an interesting fantasy.
Yeah.
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 Or if somebody had just recorded him on his deathbed talking about life. That's why I'm fascinated with Louis Armstrong and his home recordings.
Yeah.
We got to download those and listen to them because apparently they're all up on the web for free. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I don't know if I'm interested in. I mean, I don't know. That might be interesting to listen to. I don't really want to know. I don't really want to listen to hours of it, but yeah, it would be kind of interesting to hear what he sounds like.
Well, you can listen to his recordings.
I know.
I mean, the music he put out during his lifetime.
No. I understand the music, but I mean his actual voice. His speaking voice.
It's very similar. I've heard clips of him on interviews.
You know what really boggles my mind is there are singers who have different singing voices in their actual voice.
That's true.
Which I think is kind of interesting. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, and I wish we could have heard Robert Johnson really talk and know about his life.
Yeah. So there's a pop singer named Anastasia. I'm not really a fan of her stuff. But I've heard her talk, and she does not, if that really is her voice, she doesn't sound like the way that she talks.
That happens a fair amount in singing.
I don't know how that works. It's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It boggles my mind.
Boggles my mind too there. Jaylo.
Or like somebody sings, has a great voice, but they don't look the way that they sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they don't match the look or the sound.
Didn't Missy Elliott put out like a group album before she was a star, and they replaced her for the music video in the early 90s, and the album ended up not selling that well? Or am I remembering that story?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I heard something like that back in the day. I want to say it was when VH1... What was the name of the show, Driven? I think it was on that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who did they replace her with?
Well, it wasn't in the group, but it was in the music video. And then the group went belly up. I could be remembering that story incorrectly, but it was something like that. And then there was some situation where her and a bunch of other people lived in this house for a couple of years making music, and it never got released.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I hope she's doing okay. Didn't you say she had some health issues?
That's what I've heard. I
heard that she lost a lot of weight, which was good. But I didn't know about the other health issues.
It's weird because she was... I mean, in high school, she was a star.
Yeah.
But then there was this period in like 2002 to maybe 2005 where she became like next level famous.
Uh-huh.
And then now people hardly talk about her.
I don't know if they hardly talk about her. You're assuming that everybody isn't talking about her.
Okay, do you think that a high school student would really care about Missy Elliott today? The average one.
Well, no, because they don't know who she is.
Exactly.
No, I'm just saying, but with every generation, they don't... Well, I guess I shouldn't say every generation, because even people, when we were younger, knew who the Beatles were.
Yeah. But she wasn't Paul McCartney famous, is what I'm saying.
No, they were not. She was a Beatles fame, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe she's laying low and she's taking care of her health issues.
But in that time, if you would ask somebody in 2003, tell me about Missy Elliott, chances are they would have been able to, recognize her.
Missy Elliott, and I think that one lady's name was Nicole.
I'm not familiar with her.
Was her name Nicole?
No.
I thought there was an artist named Nicole. Maybe
there was, and I just don't know about her. I don't listen to a lot of radio stuff.
Actually, no, I don't. I don't know who that was. Anyway, I thought there was an artist named Nicole, but maybe I was wrong. But yeah, Missy Elliott was pretty popular.
I was thinking the other day, babes.
Yeah.
We recently had the 23rd anniversary of the shooting at Columbine.
Yeah, it's true.
And I obviously remember that day very well. But there are people who are graduated high school who weren't even alive when that happened.
I know. And the people that graduated from Columbine that year are either married or they're married with children already.
Not all of them. Some of them are probably single.
Well, not all of... Okay, I'm talking about a few people I heard about that was interviewed after that happened. Yeah, that's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I remember that day too. I do. That was a lot of people were shaken up about that.
It's a huge event for our generation, but a high school student doesn't care about that. I mean, I say that, but then I know that there are some crazy people who have shot up schools. Like, apparently the Parkland shooter said that he was inspired by the Columbine shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's crazy. And then I think I heard something about that one guy, Ethan Crumley.
Yeah, that douchebag.
Right, exactly, that low life. I heard something about the parents were trying to get were trying to appeal. I don't know. I don't remember if they're in prison or not. Or
I think they are.
Yeah.
Because they try to rent, so you can't give bail to those people.
Yeah. I think they were trying to get out of prison, but that is the first ever shooting I heard of, or that we both heard of, that the parents actually got in trouble for it.
And my take is I think that should happen with every school shooting. The parents should get in trouble for it too. Like real trouble, not just, slap on the wrist here, but maybe death penalty trouble.
I would disagree with you slightly on that, and I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, I'm listening, babes.
Well, I really don't think that I think it's a case-by-case basis, because if the parents gave the child a gun, knowing that it probably wouldn't be a good idea for that child to have a gun, that's one thing, okay? Because they really did help him with this thing, whatever it was. That
Ethan Crumley's parents definitely did.
For sure.
Yeah.
But with Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, I personally don't know if the parents should be in trouble, because we're just thinking about that, looking, we're on the outside looking in on this. I don't know if how good of parents they were. It's hard to say, because it's a case by case thing. I'm sure that Kip Kinkle's parents didn't know that he was going to shoot them.
They didn't know that, but they definitely knew something was up.
I don't know that, because sometimes kids will do things on the sly and not even give any hint as to what they're doing. Like, for example, let's take online dating for a quick example about this, right? Some girl or some guy is talking to a girl on a chat a chat room that they know they shouldn't be on. And then they find out that not only was the kid lying to them, but they're getting ready, they're packing up their stuff, and they leave the house with some person, and they don't know what happened. They don't know how they know this person, and then they find out later on, after looking at their computer, that they were in a chat room.
Okay, there's a difference between going on a chat room and killing a bunch of people.
Well, I'm just giving you an example.
I was listening to Howard Stern in 1998. Hold on, this is kind of relevant. I want you to know the source. And this was the day after the shooting, the Kip Kinkle did, right?
Yes.
And Robin's talking, and Howard and Robin, you don't listen to the show, but they talk about the news and the news events, obviously. And Robin was saying how there was some report out that one of the math teachers had talked to the dad of Kip Kinkle like the week before. And the dad said something like, I don't know if I'm going to survive this job of being a parent.
Yeah, but...
Now that's very anecdotal.
Because
it's from, even though it's a great radio show, it's from a radio show broadcast from like 24 years ago. You also have the filter of my memory.
Right.
We also have the filter of what was and wasn't known then.
Yeah.
But let me try to rephrase this, because I want to make sure we're on the same page. Let's say I have a kid and they shoot up his school.
Mm-hmm.
If they use my gun, don't you think that I'm partially responsible?
Well, that all depends, though, because if the kid found a way to get the gun, because kids are smart like that, mm-hmm. Okay, they could, if they're tall enough, if they know roughly where the, even if their father said, hey, don't touch my guns, you know where they are, I don't want you touching them, because you're not supposed to, and they don't leave them out, okay, they're not irresponsible, they don't leave them out, but the kid's tall enough, assuming the kid is a guy, the kid's tall enough, and he figures out a way to get into the cabinet or wherever he keeps the gun and takes it. That that kid made a choice to take it, because people assume that these kids can't get into the gun safe or whatever, but they can do that. I don't think it's a parent's responsibility. I don't think it's always a parent's fault that the kid gets a gun.
Okay, I have to give you pushback on this.
Why?
Because I'm for favor of gun rights.
So am I.
Right, but I think that if you're in favor of gun rights, you should also be in favor of gun responsibility.
No. But I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that it's a case-by-case basis. You can't blame the parents on everything, but you also have to give the kids responsibility because they do make stupid choices.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that the kids should get away scot-free. I think if a kid shoots up a school, let's rephrase the term parent and say legal guardian, right? Because some kids are, I know that wasn't the case in Columbine, or at least I don't think it was, or with Kip Kinkle, but I think in some cases, some of these school shooters have had legal guardians.
With
right?
other parents.
Yeah. But I think if a kid steals a gun from their legal guardian, the legal guardian should be responsible for what happens to their gun as well. And if that gun is used to kill somebody who's innocent, I'm sorry, but they should get the death penalty. Because they need to be a responsible gunman. They need to be a responsible gunman.
But you're assuming that the guns that are stolen from these legal guardians or parents, you're assuming that they're not being responsible, but you don't know that.
But if they're being responsible, what happens to their guns? How did their guns disappear?
Because the kids figured out how to get into wherever they put it.
You're not doing something right as a parent.
No, but you're saying that as a person looking on the from the outside. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going on in their families. The kid could be completely shutting down and not showing any signs of anything, and you don't know that they're just like how some kids couldn't get into their parents' prescription drugs or something like that. I think it's a complicated thing. I don't think that every single parent should be responsible for a child shooting up the school, because not every, even the most responsible parents who have tried to hide their guns, sometimes kids are able to get into that stuff. And to say that every parent should have the death penalty, I think is a gross exaggeration.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Wow. I don't at all. And I think, honestly, you would have less pushback. One, I think you'd have a lot less school shootings. If this was the case, I think there'd be a lot less.
But wait a minute, though. You're not taking into consideration about the people who these kids have told, "Oh, I'm going to do this." I honestly think that it has to start with somewhere with a mental evaluation.
I absolutely agree with you. That plays into it too. But, somebody's.
I know, but
yeah.
I don't.
What's the thing people talk about who are pro gun rights? That comes with responsibilities.
No, it does.
And you're not living up to your responsibility.
No. But what I'm saying is you are just assuming that all these parents are irresponsible and they're not taking care of their guns when you don't know what's going on behind their closed doors. I'm just saying. I think it's a case-by-case basis. I am absolutely for gun rights, but you can't blame every parent for that.
Do you think that kids should know what's going on with kids? Should parents know what's going on with their kids?
Of course, they should be. Of course, but what I understand they should be involved. But there are some parents that are really left in the dark about this, and they are trying to figure out what's going on with their kids. But if there is no sign of, hey, I didn't know that my child was trying to figure that out. If they weren't. If they didn't have any reason to find out what's going on with their child by looking on their Facebook pages or what have you, it's hard to say. All I'm saying is it's hard to assume that every single parent is a bad parent when some kid decides to shoot up the school, when some of them didn't really know what was going on because they didn't have anything to go by. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about that. We might just have to agree to disagree on this.
To assume that I don't think it's it's all. I don't think it's a one size fits all thing. That's all I'm saying.
See, this is weird because I'm usually the one saying that there's a gray area. And in this one, I'm pretty black and white on it. And you're more like there's a gray area.
Yeah. For once there is a gray area with this one.
And I honestly think if this were to happen, not only would we have less school shootings, but there'd be a better argument to be made to people on the left about why guns are important in this country. Right? Because you'd have less school shootings, so you'd have less things to point of to like 10 schools that got shot up last week.
But I think what needs to, for sure, we could agree on this. What needs to happen too is if some kid says something stupid like, I'm going to shoot so and so.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot up a school.
Oh, you are?
No.
No, I'm sorry. That was too far. Go ahead.
I don't have a gun.
That was a joke.
No. Like if some kid says, "Oh, I'm going to shoot up such and such school. I want to shoot up the school because of so and so."
Yeah.
For sure, they the police have to be on alert about this.
Absolutely.
The FBI have to be on alert about this, and they can't just blow it off like, oh yeah, it's another school shooting.
Yeah.
They need to do something about it so that we don't have to worry about another one.
I agree with you. It isn't a one size fits all. Having said that, I would definitely, my take on it. I would have some harsh punishment for these parents. And I also agree with your point, though, that if somebody threatens to shoot somebody in a school setting, they need to be taken out of the school until a proper investigation is done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think they also need to investigate the parents, too, of course.
And what pills are these kids on? Are they taking any pills for mental, health or whatever that could affect the way they're thinking?
That's true because a lot of kids are and I think you would agree, a lot of kids are way too medicated today.
Yeah.
And then they shouldn't be medicated. And there's also this idea that they might have some metals in their system. I've been hearing about that a lot.
I've heard that.
Metals.
I don't know enough.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so let's take a similar example. If you shoot up a school, you're a murderer and a douchebag.
Of course you're a murderer.
Right? And a douchebag. But let's say I have a kid and the kid's 15 years old, lives at home, I'm still the legal guardian, and they go out and they murder somebody. Mm-hmm. Like maybe it's a girlfriend of theirs. So it's not at school, but they murder somebody. Shouldn't I be held partially responsible for that?
Well, I really, again, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because if the kid made a decision to hang out with the wrong crowd, mm-hmm. and you told them several times, hey, I don't like these kids. I don't like these kids. I don't like their influence on you. And you've tried to take steps to take them away from these kids. Maybe you got them a counselor, right?
Yeah.
You did everything right as a parent, but they still went out and murdered somebody. But you took the responsible route and you did whatever you could to keep that kid out of trouble. I don't think the parent should be responsible for it. If they were doing the work, it's one thing if they were doing the work. If another parent was just sitting idly by and they knew that the kid was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Okay. So I say if you're still the person's legal guardian on paper and they're living under your roof and they kill somebody, you bear some responsibility for it.
Okay, but do you kind of understand where I'm coming from?
I hear what you're saying. I don't completely agree with them, but you do make some good points.
Yeah. Because there are some parents and legal guardians that really are on top of what their child is doing, and they do everything they can to make sure they're away from their friends, to give them a curfew, to make sure that they have their homework in on time and that they're sleeping at a decent hour. But then the kids decide to sneak out and do these horrible things to people.
Okay, I have a question that's probably going to make me sound like a moron to people who have kids.
All right.
But I don't raise kids, so I don't know this world that well. Can you legally, let's say you have a kid who's like 14 years old and acting up and being all wild.
Yeah.
Can you as a parent legally say, I'm disowning my child. Like, I know you can do it if you're like a drug addict and you just like go off somewhere, but let's say you're a pillar of the community and your kid's wild. Can I go to the court and say, hey, I'm no longer responsible for this kid. I disown them.
I don't know how that works, but I know that some children have wanted to be emancipated.
Yeah.
Which is not, I don't think it's a good idea.
I would love that if I was a kid.
Yeah, but you probably were a holy terror. I wouldn't want you out in society by yourself. Some kids have tried to get emancipated. I don't know how that works actually in the legal system. I know that sometimes parents will give their kids to the state and say, you handle that. You handle that child. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, but that's usually when they're younger or the parents are very irresponsible. I'm talking about responsible parents.
I don't know. I know that there are some parents that have decided to let their kids go off to a place where they are getting some therapeutic help. And they're doing it through a licensed like center or getting advice from like psychologists or something. I know that's what Dr. Phil has done when he sent kids off and he got the parents' permission and said, we have a place where your child could use some really good therapy and it's the best in the land. And I know these people and I want to give you this opportunity to bring let your child go there, no charge, but they have to go through the entire program. I know that parents have done that, but I don't know about the whole disowning thing.
I want to find out more about that. Maybe we could get some parents to disown some kids.
Oh, Bubs.
What?
Stop it.
Oh my goodness.
Now you're just getting all quay.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Now you're just being weird, Bubs.
Oh, I love you, babes.
I love you too, Bubs.
Yeah, it's weird if you look at the Wikipedia page for school shootings. I mean, I think the earliest case was in like the 1700s.
1700s?
Yeah, but it was like, with a musket or something.
Oh, wow.
Where you had to reload. But for like the first 200 years, there's some, but there's very little. And then when you get to the late 90s, it just explodes out of control.
I think we've had enough school shootings to know what to do and what not to do. And I think it should start with, if somebody hears or sees a child saying something like, I'm going to do this and I want to do this day, precautions need to be taken and there needs to be some drastic measures done.
That's part of it.
That is part of it.
Also, to keep it real, there needs to be some more restrictions on guns. So, for example...
For children.
Well, for children, but also, you shouldn't be allowed to buy a gun without a background check. And there are loopholes where you can do that at gun shows, right? And we know, I think that parents should have some responsibility if a kid shoots up a school. But that's, my opinion. More mental health services, all that type of stuff. It's so crazy to me, babes, that like some school districts now, it's like they want the teachers to be trained in guns.
I think it's a good idea.
Oh, I think that's a horrible idea.
Why?
Because one, a teacher can't know everything. So what happens?
That's why they have school officers.
Those don't work that well.
How do you know?
I think it was the Parkland. Did you want me to answer?
That's a bad example because there was a school that could have had a shooting, but there was an officer who actually stopped that shooter from doing anything. Okay. And I can't remember what school it was. I know that there have been fathers that have been taking on the role of being like voluntary school officers who actually knew how to use a gun. I honestly think that if the left wants to take somebody's gun rights away, I think that it would behoove the teachers, even the students, to take some gun safety classes. And if they want to learn how to be a licensed gun owner, I'm talking about the teachers. If they want to learn how to be a licensed gun owner who has a conceal and carry license that can actually can actually carry a gun, I say go for it. I think that if I think it's very imperative now.
That's a horrible idea, and I'll tell you why if you want me to.
No, I don't.
Okay, so here's why that's
no. I don't.
Babes, here's
I don't.
Because you know I'm going to make some good points. All right, so here's what's up.
I've heard you talk all way.
But you were talking a lot more than I was.
I wasn't.
One, maybe there have been some security guards who have stopped school shooters, but there's also instances where security guards have just left the building where there's been school shooters and not.
Yeah, but you're just assuming that they left the building. I mean,
because it's on tape.
I heard that wasn't true. Actually, I've heard many. I mean, I know that they wanted to say that it was true because the people that are for gun control are saying, well, somebody left the building. But that's not a good example, Buzz. I'm sorry. I can't take that example.
Well, here's why you don't want teachers packing guns in schools. One, it's easy to take a class and, you aim it
I'm talking about several classes, not just one class.
Let me get to my point, babes. You aim it at like a target that's standing there and you shoot the thing in the classroom and it's all good in the hood. But when you actually have a kid who's moving throughout the classroom and you have to shoot at that kid, you could easily hit somebody else. There's also the problem of that teacher could easily have their gun stolen from a kid. And that creates a whole nother issue. How often are these teachers recertifying their gun licenses? And how are they going to do that and grade all these papers if they also have to have like a second and third job outside of the classroom just to stay above water? There's so many problems.
I'm sorry. I just do not. I vehemently disagree with what you just said. I'm sorry. I think it's a bunch of excuses why teachers should not have. What else are they going to do? I mean, are they going to be afraid of each student who comes into their classroom and try to look around and see if one of them is packing a pistol?
No. Here's what.
No. Hold on. I had to say my point here for
all
a
right,
minute.
but then I'm going to tell you what else they're going to do or what else they should do.
Because sometimes and I'm not saying that every teacher should. I'm not saying that every teacher has to have one. I'm just saying that if a teacher does have a conceal and carry license, they should be allowed to have one in case something does happen, because there have been teachers that have been shot, not just students.
Yep.
Teachers that have been shot that were defending the rest of the students. What else are they going to do? Are they going to try to get away from the gun toter when they don't have a gun themselves and they're defenseless?
Yeah, but I'd rather have that than a teacher aims, misses, and kills an innocent student.
But you're assuming that this teacher, whether it's a man or a woman, is going to what's the word I'm looking for? Is going to aim and not look where they're aiming and miss and hit somebody else in the head.
No, it's not that you don't look. It's that you're in the heat of the moment. You're not used to this situation. You've never been in a situation where you're aiming a gun at an active shooter and things can get kind of slippery.
Yeah, but you're assuming that every single teacher is not going to be calm. And there have been instances where teachers were calm and they were able to get their students out. Remember that scene remember that news story when Ethan Crumley was outside of a classroom and the students were listening and he was saying... Yeah,
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah? So the students were actually calm, and they were listening outside. Like, oh, he called me bro. This is not an officer.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna get out the window.
Bro sounds like something I would say.
Yeah.
So the teacher didn't have a gun in that situation.
The teacher didn't have a gun,
and they got out safely.
They got out safely, but I'm just saying that you're assuming that every single teacher is going to be have an adrenaline rush and a rush to judgment. I would imagine that the rules when you're learning about gun safety is you have to be calm when you're about to defend your life or somebody else's life.
Okay, couple of things there. One, you don't need every teacher to freak out because you only need like one or two in the class or in the school to freak out for there to make a bad situation worse. Two, it's natural to freak out in a situation that you're not used to. And 3, yeah, you're learning in a classroom, but that's a very, very, very controlled environment, extremely different than dealing with an actual school shooter in real life.
And there's also the lockdowns too, locking the school down too as well.
Okay. That's a little bit out of my knowledge base because I grew up right before that stuff started to really happen.
As did I.
I think you know my answer of what we should do. Give death penalty to the parents. Make background checks mandatory. No more of these loopholes. Make it harder for these kids to have guns. Really do an audit of what kids are taking as far as medication goes. And if a kid makes a threat, they're out of the classroom until we get the situation figured out.
Well, okay, so let's take the subject off of guns, and I think we should talk about something else. But what about
we're gonna
knives?
Have fun too.
What about knives?
Knives are not as deadly as guns. Yes, you can kill somebody with a knife, and yes, it's been done, and it's been done recently. But if you have a knife and you attack one person, it's not like there's going to be a room of 20 more people that are you can just kill all of them. People can jump you if you have a knife a lot easier than they can if you have a gun. It's a different situation.
No, I understand. I understand.
Go ahead.
But does the same rules apply with sharp objects?
As far as
knives?
No, but do you mean as far as should teachers not be allowed to have knives? Do you mean
right? Exactly. Do you think? I mean, I know that guns are different. Different tools, but
I would have to think about that. But on the surface, I would have less of an issue with the teacher having a knife. That doesn't mean I would have no issue with it, but I'd have to think about it more. It's not a visceral reaction as a teacher bringing a gun.
Because then you have to. I mean, you also have to weigh all the other things out, like guns versus knives, or cars, because people are running people over with cars. They're not. That's not right either.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of put other things into perspective. And right now the gun control people are saying that the guns are the enemies, but it's the people behind the gun.
It's the people behind the guns, but that's why you have to regulate the people behind the guns. Like in the Constitution, it says a well-regulated militia. That means there's some regulation there. And I don't have a problem with reasonable gun regulations. And listen, I think that if a kid kills somebody, their guardian is partially responsible. And their guardian should be punished too. And that's maybe an unpopular opinion, but that's how I feel. Whether you do with a car or a knife.
You think no questions asked? I mean, and like I said, I think it's a case by case basis. But we'll have to talk about that another time.
Okay.
I think we should shift heel.
Okay.
And talk about some lighthearted things.
Lighthearted.
So we had a really good day yesterday.
We did have a good day. You started to play with your iPad more. So yes. I am curious.
Uh-huh.
What did you, and I know you're still new to this world, but what did you think the first experience with your iPad was going to be versus what it turned out being?
I didn't know how, I actually didn't have many expectations. I knew that I had to get used to the swiping motions, the tapping motions, which I kind of tried with yours.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, what about the edit fields? And I know that I'm going to have to figure that out. It's going to take me a little bit of a while to figure it out, but I don't think it'll take me too long. And I was thinking about my friends who got into this world. Well, at least my friend's fiance got into this world a little bit later. And she kind of had a different reaction too with, because her and I have talked about typing, and we're so used to typing on keyboards, and right?
Yeah.
And if you've done that for a long time, and now you have to get used to swiping and tapping. For a while, it took her a while, but she figured it. She learned. And I've talked to her guy, and he's really he teaches. No, he doesn't teach. I'm sorry. He's into tech, and he fixes people's computers. And he said, yes, sometimes it helps to use a keyboard to find stuff if you're on a computer, and sometimes it. Because he kind of goes back and forth to using computers.
Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages to both.
Yeah, and buying, maybe eventually I'll buy a keyboard with it if I decide that I want to type some things out.
Now, this is a couple that's been engaged since like 2001, right?
No, they met in 2001. They've been engaged. I forgot. I don't even remember what year it was. It might have been 2015. I can't remember, but I'm thinking to myself, geez, get married already. Why are you taking so long? I know they've been trying to figure out if they wanted to move because they live in different places in California. One lives in Berkeley. The other one lives in like San Leandro or whatever.
I don't know where San Leandro is. Is it close to Berkeley or no?
I think it's a little bit of a bus trek.
Okay, so...
But it's in California.
They don't see each other that often, or what?
No, they do.
Okay.
They see each other on the weekends.
Wait a second. So they don't live together and they're already engaged?
Yeah, they never have lived together.
Wow.
That's not that.
Well, I would think that you would want to live together before you got married. I mean, maybe you get engaged and then live together, but I would think you would want to live together first, then get engaged, then take the leap.
think it's a bad idea.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Cannot disagree with you more on this.
I think it's a very bad idea.
Why?
Because I've heard some studies that have been shown that a couple who lives together is more likely to get divorced after marriage, and it doesn't take it seems to me anyway that it doesn't take that long. I think it's a very bad idea. I think that if a couple really wants to know what marriage is, the best thing to do is to actually get married. Or not get married at all.
I disagree with you. I think, if anything, living together would decrease the possibility of divorce because then you'd see how the person really is.
That's not true. That's actually not true. There are more studies that have shown that a couple that has lived together, especially for a very long time, and then they get married, don't end up staying married.
I'd have to see these studies, but they seem a little bit suspect.
No, it's not. It's not suspect. It's been proven quite a bit. I just think that, and I know I've seen it way too many times. I had friends who were living together who I've told you about. They have lived together for I think it was like. Was it 7 years? Something 6, 7 years. I can't remember. And I actually told them, I said, hey, if you're going to get married at City Hall, you might as well do it now. Because if you don't get married now, you're never going to get married. I told them that. I said, and their excuse was, well, we want to find out. I said, look, if you're going to do it, if you're going to get married in the future, you might as well do it now. And then I find out 6 years later, that not only did they not get married, but they did have a very bad breakup, and the guy ended up marrying somebody else.
Right, but you're saying couples who end up getting married but live together first have a higher divorce rate.
Yes, they do.
And that seems so counterintuitive to me.
Well, I really think you should look. I really think you should look that up. I do.
I'll look it up, but just on the surface, I have so many questions because it seems like if you live together, you know how the person is in the morning. You know how you two work together in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like how to share a bathroom with them. You know how to share a kitchen.
Yeah, but living as roommates is different than living as husband and wife. I honestly think that the best way to find out is to get married, and I think our culture is so backwards that it's another excuse to not commit to anybody. And I don't think that just because a person lives together, they're completely, they have the benefits of husband and wife. Okay. I just do not agree with that.
A roommate situation is different than if you're married. I totally get that. So I've been in relationships before. I've never really lived with anybody before who I was in a relationship with. Now, there's gray areas there to where there's times where I'll spend a lot of time at somebody else's place, or they'll do the same with me. But it's never been like an official we live together situation. Yeah. So maybe I'm not one to talk.
Yeah.
But I've come to as close to living with girlfriends without actually living with them. And you just learn the other person better, right? You learn how to deal with conflicts better if you live with somebody.
I don't agree. And I'll tell you, and here's why that, here is why I think that you don't have to live together to find out about the person. You're finding out about the person. Now, it could get kind of hairy if you want to spend every single waking moment so that you don't want to marry the person. That could be really bad. But if you give some time, like for example, the person sees you like 3 times a week.
Okay.
Like how we've been doing. Mm-hmm. Or 2 times a week or whatever it is. And you're already finding stuff out about the person. I personally don't think you have to really live together. And I think it's been used as an excuse for fornication of any kind.
Yeah, but I crash here, so we don't live together. Well, I'm not supposed to talk about.
No.
Okay. All right, but babes, I'm just saying. For example, you see how somebody is behind closed doors when you live with them.
But that's what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I know.
But there's less of a shock then when you get married because you already know what they're like behind closed doors, or you have a much better idea.
But maybe there should be a shock, and I'll tell you why there should be a shock. Because marriage is not easy.
Yes,
marriage is not going to be easy. It was never going to be easy. And that's the time where a husband and wife will learn more about each other. And I honestly think those marriages can be a lot stronger because now the both of you are going to deal with all kinds of stuff. And then that's when you have to really work together to make it work.
But when
I don't think that living together is a good idea. I don't.
But wouldn't it prepare you a little bit for what you're getting into? Yes, it's not going to be easy, but it could potentially be a little bit easier if you already have an idea of what you're getting into.
Yeah, but Bubs, life isn't easy. Relationships aren't easy. Marriages are not easy. I might as well just find out. I might as well find out in marriage than know about it when I'm before I'm getting into it. I'd rather just find out.
I know life is hard for everybody and things are always tricky. And yes, life isn't easy, but it could be slightly easier if you do a few specific things. And I think that this is one of the things that would make it slightly easier.
Well, you're gonna be like, what are you talking about when I say this? I don't want it to be slightly easier.
Wow.
I want it to be where I'm learning with whoever I'm marrying while we are married, because I've seen it way too many times. I've seen it way too many times where there are couples who live together and they never get married. And they have kids. And the kids are like, when are you guys going to get married? And it's just a whole bunch of confusion. And it's like, and they never do. They never seem to do that. I've seen it way too many times. I've seen it with my friends. And of course we can get into the whole, like, being engaged for like 10 years and never marrying.
Yeah, I think that's wacky to me.
Yeah. I just think if you're going to get married, you get the license, don't live together, and then make a life for yourself after you marry. And I think that's part of marriage where that's one of the hardest things is getting to know somebody as a husband or a wife. And I would rather going into the marriage knowing how it's going to be a very hard road, but it pays off.
Yeah, I just don't see what the advantage is to making it harder on yourself than necessary. Like, if you want something hard, well, okay, I'm going to start a coal mining business, and Jaylo, you are going to be the first blind coal miner. There, you're going to have a very hard life.
That's a totally different scenario. A totally different scenario. I honestly think you should look it up. I really do.
Give me some studies, but something tells me there's some,
No. You've got to give these kinds of things a chance, Bubs. You can't just, I mean, I'm so sick of worldly ideas where it's like they always give you an excuse not to get married. No. Oh, living together is better.
I'm not saying that.
Having a domestic partnership is better. No, I'm just giving examples.
Yeah.
Having the domestic partnerships are better. Having children and not having the responsibility of being married is better. I just think they're really bad ideas.
Well, one, I don't think people should have children, and two,
wow.
I don't.
I know you don't. You're anti-family. That's another thing.
Maybe I'm Uncle Family. Can you I kiss your hands.
Okay, I think we should talk about something else that could be really heated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel heated. Okay, let's just say that on this issue, we very much disagree.
But I will look some things up. I will, and I would suggest that you look that up too, or maybe I'll even send you some things.
Like, because we spend so much time together, if we got engaged, we could kind of skip the whole like living together before then. But I think after we get engaged, we'd have to move in together. But we'd also have a very short engagement too. So, I'm not one of those people. I want to marry you 3 years from now, maybe. I'd be like, let's get engaged and wrap this thing up as quickly as possible.
Oh my goodness.
But that's me.
Well, if you think it's going to be a short engagement, we might as well just get married right there.
What do you mean right there?
You know, if you want to get engaged, then we might as well get married a month later and forget the moving in thing. If that ever happened, right? Because if it's gonna be a short engagement, you might as well just get ready in a month or maybe even a few weeks.
By the way, I have no plans to get married. I like not being married.
I'd love to get married.
But you said that you won't marry me.
We haven't really discussed this.
Okay.
And I don't think we should discuss it now.
I thought but real quick, and then we're going to drop it. I thought you at least implied that you couldn't get married to somebody unless they were not only a Christian, but also a conservative person politically. Maybe I heard that.
Can we talk about this another time?
We can. But
this is a totally different subject.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I know we haven't really discussed it much.
We haven't discussed it.
We haven't discussed it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's a different conversation that we should have.
Can we just say then that maybe I misheard you when or I misinterpreted those statements, and those statements are not actually true?
No, you can't.
Oh, so they are true?
Well, no. I mean, no, we can't talk about it now.
Okay, but let's just say I'm not a conservative Christian, and I'm not going to be. So I doubt we could ever get married.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't.
I mean, I'm just saying that a lot of people have said some things like, "Oh, I could never marry this person," but sometimes things change, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I just think that that should be a different discussion from a different time.
But let's just wrap it up by saying I can never be a conservative Christian, and I need a kiss, and so do you. What?
You don't know that. You say Neville a lot.
I
don't know that there's got to be a reason. You like to fight it a lot. I know you do.
Because it's not realistic. Now give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, babes, because you need one.
Oh my goodness.
You know what thought I was having the other day, babes?
What?
Okay, so I'm actually on the bus coming over here.
Uh-huh.
Actually, there's a few interesting things about that, but let's go to the first thing first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in reincarnation, but I don't not believe in it either. Like, you could convince me. Okay. I don't believe it, but I could probably be convinced.
Okay.
And sometimes I've thought to myself, well, I'm eating a cow or a hamburger. Now, granted, I haven't had a hamburger literally since 2009.
Yeah.
But let's just take this for an example. And sometimes I think to myself, well, what if I come back as a cow that's being tortured and that's my next life? I'm in the slaughterhouse. Or I'll laugh at some news story about some, kid who just got abducted or something. I won't laugh at it, but when I'll joke around about something like that with people because I have
you have a weird sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
And then I'll think to myself, but what if I come back in my next lifetime and I'm a kid who gets abducted? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm on the bus the other day.
Yeah.
I started thinking to myself, I've noticed that in all these scenarios, whether I come back as an animal that's being tortured, or a kid that's being tortured, or a woman that's being tortured, or a man who's being tortured, or any of these things, I still look at myself as I'm going to be a creative person or a creative animal who gets tortured. Like, it's hard for me to separate the idea that in my next incarnation, I won't be creative at all. And I wonder if this is my form of attachment or a form of attachment that I happen to have.
Attachment?
Yeah.
Attachment to what?
In Buddhism, they always talk about how attachment is a bad idea. It's the idea that we're attached to this existence, right? And that's going to make it harder for us to transition to whatever comes next. And maybe I'm attached to the idea of creativity. Right. So attachment can take many different forms. We think of it, the most popular form as, no, I don't want to die. I don't want to give up what I have. But my attachment may take the form of, I don't want to move beyond this if it means that I'm no longer creative in whatever my next incarnation is.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
That's a little bit out there, okay. But you know, I never was a believer in reincarnation. I thought it was such one of the most weirdest things. Like the whole like past lives thing is just so out there for me.
Well, again,
I don't get that, and that's part of reincarnation. Actually.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to it, but I don't know what comes after this. So it's possible that reincarnation is a real thing, but we will just have to wait and find out, babes. Unless we die and there's nothing, and then we don't find out, we just end up as nothing. Which is also a possibility.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No. You're too connected to your beliefs.
That's right, Bubs. And don't you forget it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's right, Bubs. And don't you forget it.
What if you're incorrect?
Well...
You probably are.
No, Bubs.
I love you.
The fact that you're fighting really tells me a lot.
What does it tell you?
The fact that you're fighting.
Good or bad?
Everything that... No, it's good.
Uh-oh.
It's good.
In that case, I'm gonna try to think of some real crazy stuff.
No.
If it's good.
No. It's good. It's good in a different way, Bubs.
Oh.
And I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Okay.
But it is good in a different way.
What else? Yes. Stay tuned for future episodes to find out more.
Oh my goodness. What else?
Apparently, Jaylo,
yeah.
It came out earlier this week that we no longer have to wear masks on buses, on public transit.
Yeah.
But then I heard that his administration might fight that.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of people that are very, very angry. A lot of people that are very angry, and even the flight attendants, a part of these airlines, who are a part of these airlines where they've had to wear masks. Some of them have told people on their planes, like, this is not, the flight attendants really want this to stop, and it's really the unions that are handling this. There are some really, really angry people.
Well, it's like, you can't fight to fix our crumbling infrastructure, but you can fight for us to wear masks on.
I know.
Buses.
I know. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you care about our infrastructure, you would also care about the people that are taking these transportations.
But, I mean, Biden's going to get, he's in for a rude awakening. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to... I don't think the appeal is going to work. I think there's a lot of people that are angry. Everybody from babies on up have been affected by this whole thing.
Okay.
And yes,
it's still kind of up in the air. But I was on the TriMet website either Thursday night or yesterday, Friday morning.
Yeah.
And looking over the rules, and they said it's highly recommended, but you don't technically have to wear masks anymore. I was considering not wearing a mask because they're kind of bullshit at this point.
Why would you?
Well, I'm going to tell you why I decided to wear a mask. Because it might make some people feel a little bit safer.
Please.
And this just came out this week. Not everybody necessarily knows the new rules.
No, but I mean, here's something to think about, though. You may think that you're looking out for other people, but you also have to think about yourself. And if you're not contagious...
I don't know that, for one thing.
Well, if you think that you are okay to not cover your face, I personally think that you shouldn't be worried at this point.
Here's where I go at this point. Not everybody knows the new rules because this just came out this week. They might be changing again. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to wear the mask on the bus. But I think once we get into like mid-May, it's time.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean, if they have to require it, then I can't really, I mean, I don't like that they have to require it. If they're still requiring it on lifts and on the bus system, then I can't really, it's hard, I can't really do anything because they really want you to wear one. Mm-hmm. But if they say they highly recommend it, I'm going to be like, nope, I don't want to wear it. I'll keep it if I need to use it for now. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna make it so people actually see my face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Well, and I mean, and it's hard because people now have probably have a mild form of PTSD now.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I know. It's like people are getting used to other people looking at their faces, and they're getting used to looking at other people's faces. And I understand that people are going to decide what to do, but I at this point, I'm just like, I don't want to wear one at all. Anywhere.
I agree with you, and I feel the same way.
I don't. I do not. I can't. I want to feel the air on my face. I want to feel the sun on my face. I want people to look at my smile.
Yeah.
My facial expressions. And I want to talk to somebody and understand them without something covering their mouth.
Yeah, I hear you, babe.
That's going to look really weird.
It does, but I'm just telling you how I feel about it.
Okay.
Based on the information we have today. I'm glad that masks are going away.
I know.
We can really do shit now. After 2 years here in Portland, Oregon
No one wants to look at you pooping in the toilet.
Where did that come from?
From what you just said.
What did I just say?
You know what you said, bro.
No, I don't. What did I say?
You can do stuff except you use a different word, and I'm thinking, well, nobody wants to look at you pooping in the toilet.
Oh, did I say the S word?
Yes, you did.
I didn't even know that I said that.
Oh, come on.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
See, it's so normalized, you don't even realize you said it, but you did.
Oh, babes. It's just a word.
Oh,
it's just a word, babe. Okay. Do you ever think that... You're very... You're
very... talk about something else. Something else.
Okay.
Something else. Hey.
Well, you are, but I love you. I think swearing is not the end of the world, but, Alana feels differently than I do.
I do.
You do. You think it is, yeah.
But, the masks are going away. For how long? I hope
they're permanently. Going away.
I don't know. Well, I mean, some people want to keep them on. I hope that they go away from the people in New York, and I really feel bad for the people in Shanghai. It's awful.
I feel bad, but it's like we got stuff to deal with here too.
I understand, but that's affecting, that is affecting people in different parts of the world.
Yeah, it's like I get that the pandemic isn't over, but it's come on. We're pretty much there. It's time.
It is time.
Yeah.
Let the Shanghai people go.
I got my own problems, babes.
I know, Bubs. I'm just saying. I'm thinking of other people too,
Oh, so am I, babes.
I'm not a selfish person.
Neither am I, there, Jaylo. Neither am I.
Well.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
No, they're not selfish.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, babes. Mm-hmm. But yes. So that's what's going on there. Jaylo.
Yeah, so we listened to Take the Floor. I sent a quick message to my mom. I guess I wasn't clear that I was only sending audio messages, not text messages, but I'm going to work on that.
Yes.
And it was fun. We had some really yummy baked potatoes, and we watched a really good movie before we had cake and ice cream.
And then we watched another really good movie.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to playing with your iPad as soon as we wrap this up?
Yes.
Nice.
Not until after I give us some snacks.
Oh, good. Well, we'll wrap this up quick then.
Why you hungry?
I'm always hungry, okay? Actually, for the folks in Shanghai who can't eat right now because of the pandemic.
My goodness.
My badness. Jaylo?
Yes.
Hopefully I don't come back as like a person in China and just being oppressed.
Oh my goodness.
I do have the okay, side note real quick just because it entered my mind. I often wonder to myself, with reincarnation, we assume that you like get reincarnated in the future, but why should we assume that time is linear? So like, how do I know that I won't come back as like some oppressed person like 300 years ago?
Well, why would you want to come back as something
I don't
like
want to
that?
come back, but I'm saying I don't know how this reincarnation business works. And so I could end up coming back and like going through the Holocaust, or I could come back and go through like, you know, some the Middle Ages. I don't it's not necessarily that I'm going to die and come back like 300 years in the future. It could go the other way. So it's something to think about, babes.
Wow.
Or I could come back as an alien on another planet and just some unspeakable atrocities happen.
Have you ever thought that maybe you're just gonna you're not gonna come back and you're gonna die and go to where you're supposed to be?
I've thought about that. I'm not saying that I believe in reincarnation. I'm saying because I am an agnostic, a spiritually leaning one. I don't know what happens after you die. And since I don't know what happens, that is a possibility.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would come back as an alien from another planet when the alien thing is up in the air, I guess.
Right, but we're not sure how we came into this lifetime. So just because we're not sure how it would come back as an alien from another planet, I'm not sure how I'm Rick in this lifetime. So.
My God.
I'm not even sure that I am Rick in this lifetime.
All right. We're getting into the weeds with this.
We are. You brought us there.
No, you're the one who brought us there, Gail.
And I love you.
No, you brought us there.
And I love you.
No, you brought us there.
And I love you.
Let's get into the movies, bub.
All right. Do you want to talk about a film called
Roxanne?
Or do you want me to?
I'm going to talk about Roxanne.
Hit it.
You can talk about the next one.
Go ahead.
So I haven't seen Roxanne in about 15 years, and I think before that I may have just watched parts of it and didn't watch the whole thing. It is a really funny movie.
Starring Stephen Martin. Steve
Martin as C.D. Bales or Charlie Bales. And he works at this fire station as a fire chief. Am I right?
Yes.
He's a fire chief. And this woman who's played by Daryl Hannah is not able to get into her house, and for some reason she's naked. She can't get in because her cat bumped into something and closed the door. Is that right?
The cat got her locked out.
The cat got her locked out. So, which is really embarrassing if you're naked and you're cold and you're locked out of your house. So she goes to the fire station, talks to C.D. Bales and says, "Hey, I can't get into my house." And he's like, "Do you want a coat?"
She's like, "No, I'm going to stand here and freeze."
And he didn't realize that she was being sarcastic. Mm-hmm. And he's like, they didn't have a coat? Well, you didn't want a coat. So anyway, he lets her in. They have some wine, and he can't, and she realizes that he's got this big nose, this big honker of a nose. It's a long one too, right?
Big and long.
Oh my goodness.
Kind of like. Anyways.
You bubs!
Alright.
We're talking about your third whatever.
We don't have to talk about the third leg right now. Back to the movie, babes.
The one eye. Anyway, so she invites him in. I think she's like the house. She is a person who's subletting the house, right?
For the summer.
She's yes. living in the house, and this lady Dixie is letting her rent the house.
Keep on going, babes.
And they're drinking some wine, and they're talking, and she's studying astronomy, and she's in college. And she realizes really quickly that his nose is kind of getting in the way.
Yes.
Could you continue on?
Okay. we get the impression that C.D. Bales has not been with a lot of women. He's a smart guy. He does well for himself, but he's not really a ladies' man. Mm. And he's had to deal with his nose, obviously, for his entire life. So he's used to having fun with it. He knows what it means to other people, that type of thing. A new guy named Chris joins the fireman world.
And he's a good-looking man. He's a younger guy. Mm. But he's very into himself.
Yes.
Very shallow.
And your girl, Daryl Hannah, because
Roxanne,
she's attracted to shallow people, really likes Chris.
Well, she's attracted to him because of how he looked. And
yeah. That's because she's attracted to a shallow man.
Apparently, yeah.
But even she can't look past his ignorance. So CD has to step in, write some notes, say some kind words, and eventually Daryl Hannah has sex with your buddy Chris.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. Mm. And, okay, so I'm going to continue on.
Do it.
So, yeah, there were some other things that were funny too, like how, can I mention the comedy thing really quick?
You cannot, but go ahead and do it.
So before I go on, I'm going to mention a scene that I really thought was hilarious, because someone was making fun of his nose, and he was coming up with 20
one-liners.
21 one-liners about his nose, and one of them I thought was really hilarious, where he's like, they say it's not the nose that makes a person, it's what's in it that counts. What? You thought it was funny?
No, I didn't think it was funny.
That was one of the funniest ones.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, but I thought that showed his humor. Yes. I thought that was funny. So anyway, Charlie, C.D. Bales, finds out that Roxanne is got a call from the university, and she has to be away for a week.
Yep.
I forgot what she was doing.
It was about the comet that she had discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, "Hey, tell Chris to write me. I'll be waiting for his letters." So it's a week. You see the letters getting to her, and she's reading all these letters.
And your girl is getting turned on. It's a little bit less than a week because she comes home a couple days early.
Well, in that time that she was gone, Chris ends up hanging out with her friend. I don't know what her name is, and she's tending bar.
Yep.
And she's like, "Hey, you should, you could be like what did she say? Like a handler in Vegas?
Something like that.
A card handler or whatever, because they're playing cards." Mm-hmm. And apparently she's into shallow guys.
Like Daryl Hannah.
Yeah. But Daryl Hannah is like Roxanne is super smart.
Yes. Your buddy Chris runs off with your girl, good old what's her name.
Yeah.
And Daryl Hannah puts it together that Mr. Big Nose has been writing these letters. At first he's upset. There's a big confrontation, but eventually they get together.
They do, after she pushes his nose out of the way.
So they can kiss.
But the only problem I had with this movie is that it took her so long to figure it out.
Well, I have a theory on that.
Okay.
I think it took her so long because she didn't want to. Like she was trying to look the other way. Because it goes back to what I kept saying in the discussion or the recap of this movie. She's shallow. Mm-hmm. She wants to be... she's a scientist. She's a
rocket
scientist. But that doesn't mean that she's not shallow. She wants to be with the hot guy and just assume that he is smart enough to write good letters. Just because he can put himself together in the morning. Mm. And eventually, she has to confront the reality that I either got to go down this road and be shallow, or I got to go for somebody with some brains.
That actually knows how to treat a woman.
Yeah, and with something big to offer. Right. I think that is a really interesting message that this movie sends. Assuming I'm, getting it correctly and not just putting my own spin on the thing.
No, I think you might be on the right track. Because she said, because when she was describing, oh, this guy is really handsome, and she's telling CD about it. Oh, this guy's really handsome. He's like, really? You think he's handsome?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's like, and he says something, and she's like, what are you talking about? Because she's assuming that he's talking about Chris, and he's assuming that she's talking about him.
Yes.
And judging by Chris's note to Roxanne, it's pretty clear that he's into himself. And and she's like, but that wasn't me, that wasn't Chris, that I wanted to sleep with. And I ended up sleeping with him, but the person who wrote it was not him, it was you. And I didn't want, I think she didn't really want to realize that it could be the guy with the big nose.
What does Steve Martin teach us in this film about self-confidence and the lack of it?
Well, I think that people underestimate that, or maybe the word is underestimate. I don't know if it's underestimate or what, but people assume that if you're a good-looking guy, you're confident, but you're not.
But sorry, go ahead.
And I think that Steve Martin's character, C.D. Bales, thinks that he just because he has all the brains and he's doing well for himself, that he has to look good to show people that not only is he confident, but he looks good, and that looks are all that people notice. And he wanted to get that nose job.
Where are Roxanne and C.D. Bales today?
They might be married. With maybe some kids. And Chris and that one lady are not together anymore.
But do you think C.D. Bales is married to Roxanne today?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe they're studying about rocket science. I don't know.
Oh,
but I think they're married. I think they do get married.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. It's not my favorite Steve Martin film, but I'd give it a 7.
I think give it a strong 7.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's not quite as funny as The Jerk. There's some things in The Jerk I didn't think that was funny, but it really overall was pretty funny.
Jerk's a classic.
Yeah.
This film's really good though.
Yes.
I know people probably rank it higher in the filmography of Steve Martin than I do, but I still enjoyed it.
You're right.
Yeah, I just coughed. That's what happens. Sometimes they little Jaylo.
I thought that if I were to change my name, one of the names that I would change it to is Roxanne, because I always thought that was a cool sounding name. Someone could call me Roxy for short.
Okay.
And of course, the Roxy brand of clothes, I don't know if I think they're still around, are really, a lot of girls like to wear them. I remember my sister liked wearing Roxy in our 20s. Roxy's a cool brand.
Are you going to change your name then?
No, I'm not. I like my name now.
Okay.
I'm just saying about the names that I thought I would like to change if I had the opportunity, but I don't want to change my name.
Okay.
I don't.
What else?
Yeah.
I've dated a few women who have changed their names. I want to say more than 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the names that they changed them to were the names that you knew them by.
No, well, in some of the cases, I knew their original names, and in some of the occasions, I knew the new names.
I remember you told me about the one who used a different name for whatever she did online or whatever. I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I dated this girl, and I dated her with her original name. But she wanted to be a successful writer, so she took on this fake writing identity. And I think eventually it got to the point to where on social media she uses a fake writing name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
And you told me about that. I'm like, what?
No, but I've dated other women who've changed their names besides her. So. But
you knew them by their changed name.
I said sometimes it varies depending on the relationship. Okay. So you won't be the first one to change your name there, Jaylo.
No, I'm not going to change my name.
There we go. There, Jaylo.
I like my name now. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it anymore.
Well, good.
That was when I was really young and I wanted to think of names to change it to, but I don't think that way anymore. Nice. Yeah.
Well, good.
Well, and you have a friend who had a name change too.
I've had a couple of friends who've had name changes.
Yep. And I know someone who had a name change, but I'm not sure why she did that. I personally liked her original name.
I did too.
Better. Yes. Yeah.
Jaylo.
Yes?
We watched a second movie after The Cake and Ice Cream.
Yes.
And I thought that this was going to be a thriller.
Me too.
Called The Dark Horse.
Me too.
It starred Bette Davis and some other people that I've never heard of before now.
Yes.
It was a comedy from 1932. And it was pretty good.
Oh my goodness, it was so funny.
I'm just going to give like a quick overview.
Yes.
Basic premise is there's these progressive Democrats who are trying to get a nomination for their party to become, I think, the state governor.
Yeah, a nomination for governor, and their convention was taking forever because they didn't nominate anybody.
Yeah. Some guy in the audience who's a little bit older and maybe not the brightest bulb in the bunch.
Yeah.
His name is Zachary Hicks. They nominate Hicks.
And he's sleeping.
Yeah. Put together that it may have been a mistake.
Yes.
So a girl who is working on the campaign says, I know this guy, he's in jail for not paying alimony, but he's really good and he could help us get our man Hicks elected.
And that was Kay Russell, who was played by Bette Davis.
I believe so. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Go, get your man. He starts helping out on the campaign. He sees what an idiot Hicks is.
His name is Hal Blake.
Hal Blake has an ex-wife named
Maybelle.
Who comes into the campaign office. I love this. One of Hal's friends tells Maybelle, hey, he's not here. She's about to leave. Hicks stands by a picture of a cardboard cutout of himself, puts his hand around it, and she recognizes him. And, and Maybelle's like, I'm looking for Blake. And he says, oh, he's here. He takes her into the office, and as he's leaving, he's like, oh, yeah, she was going to miss you. She thought that you were gone for whatever reason.
He didn't know that was his ex-wife.
Yep.
He's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No.
Hilarious, though.
Maybelle wants some money.
Yeah.
Hal doesn't want to pay it, but he gives her something. She goes off. It looks like Hicks is going to win the election.
Yep.
There's a great scene earlier on, I should say. I don't want to give too much about this movie away, but Hal wanted Hicks to memorize a speech by Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, but he didn't know that. Yeah.
Well, it turns out the Republican who was running against him memorized the same speech for the debate, and Hal calls the guy out. Yeah. I thought that was great.
That was hilarious.
So Maybelle realizes that there's an opportunity to make money by basically tricking Hicks into being arrested.
Yep.
They go out to it's
a cabin.
Yeah. And are playing strip poker. Hicks is losing. Hal figures out the scheme, gets there with his buddy. The buddy takes Hicks away. Hal is caught with her, and they have to basically get remarried. I don't want to say anything else about this film because I want people to discover it on their own.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
There was one scene that I particularly like.
Go ahead.
Where Zachary is trying to get out of the situation. Mm-hmm. And so Zachary is trying to get out of the situation with Maybelle, and he's trying to get over the fence, and it still takes him forever, and his pants are torn up, and he's like, I want to go home. And meanwhile, Hal and Maybelle have to get married, and I thought it was even funnier when he gets back to Kay, and all Kay can see is, oh, you big baby. And
I don't want to give everything away about it.
But I know, but it was just so hilarious.
It's a really good film.
Dynamics between Kay and Hal and Maybelle and Hal.
In some ways, it reminded me of His Girl Friday. I still think that His Girl Friday is better, but I thought The Dark Horse was really good.
Oh, yeah. His Girl Friday is just great.
Yeah. That's on a whole nother level.
I know.
You know, in not Breaking Bad, in Better Call Saul,
yeah,
there's a scene, I want to say in season 2, where Mike is watching His Girl Friday on TV.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Was he laughing too?
No, because Mike is very serious, but it is on while he's watching it and getting ready to wrap his day up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But back to The Dark Horse for a minute.
Yeah.
This film came out in 1932.
Uh-huh.
I want to say that the first talkie was released in 1927.
Wow.
So we've had actors talking in film for about 5 years.
Hmm.
It's so interesting the way this comedy is when you consider that. Still, talking is kind of new in this format.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, because talkies are all we've ever known, really.
In our lifetime, yeah.
In our lifetime. I don't know how silent movies work, but maybe they just have or music.
Well, I guess the point is...
I don't know.
It's not what silent films are. It's the medium of talking in film is new.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that they write this comedy that still holds up today.
It is, yeah.
When film had been around for over 30 years, but talking in movies had only lasted for like 5 years up to this point.
Yeah, and that's, the talkies are what a lot of people have only known if they were born after 1927.
Yeah.
So I think about that, I'm like, wow, it's so interesting to me.
This film could have very easily been lost to history because it's from, I believe, First Republic Pictures, and they're no longer around. And I don't really know the backstory on First Republic, but I think it's so cool that this film lasted, and in a lot of ways, you could take it as, it's a comedy, but it says some truth about politics. Right? So you have this bumbling idiot who's running as a Democrat in 1932, and we saw that in 2020 with Joe Biden, right? But then your man who's the campaign manager says, I'm going to make people think that our candidate is a man of the people. He could be your next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And you can make the argument that that's what people try to do with Trump. So it works on a whole bunch of different levels for me.
I thought it was really funny. It's like, hey, that's not exactly true. There was one scene where he's talking to the campaign manager, and he said, and he was a poor, I was a poor, whatever. It's like, actually, that's not true because I have an aunt that owns a farm.
Yeah, and he's
her name is Aunt Fanny. He's like, we'll just forget Aunt Fanny. We'll leave her in the background.
Yeah. I would like to show this film to the guys, but something tells me it's not on audio descriptive. I'll look though.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's such a great movie.
It is really great. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. They made it, that was just brilliant.
Nobody talks about this movie.
It was. There's so many. I'm so glad that she got me into watching really old stuff because there are some real gems. Life with Father. That's great. This one, My Man Godfrey. Bombshell is just fantastic. And then
His Girl Friday, obviously. Bringing Up Baby.
Bringing Up Baby is great. And then, what was the one with Audrey Hepburn and she comes back and her house is a mess?
Her house is a mess.
That's A Big Sleep?
She's not in that one. Oh, you're thinking of Charade.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Charade, yeah.
Walter Matthau's in that.
A good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many good movies.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you wish. Yes, I'm glad we watched it, babes.
That's right.
Little Jaylo.
Yes?
I gave you a little pill last night.
Yeah, I've had it before.
Melatonin.
Melatonin. I really did have a good sleep. I don't know how long it took it took effect. I think it might have been within the hour that I went to bed, but I woke up I started to wake up around 6:30ish, but then, 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then I I fell asleep again by 7 and woke up like after 8:30.
I woke up around 6:45. Yeah. Hung out for a while, played with your iPad, downloading apps, and that was basically about it. Trying to figure out Siri, obviously.
Wow.
All that stuff.
You sound a little mad about that.
Oh, I love you, babes. I just don't know if should we, but we're going to try some stuff when we wrap this.
Okay.
You did not have any dreams last night?
I did not. I slept right through. I was very, very happy that I was able to sleep. Because I haven't, my sleep schedule has been off because of the week and a half that my mom was visiting. Mm-hmm. So, it was good to, get, a good nap in yesterday and a nice sleep. And I always feel better when I have a good sleep. So
glad to hear it, babes.
Yeah.
Babes, I think we should kiss.
Yeah.
Wrap this up, eat some snacks, and then let you play with your pad.
Yeah. Stop it.
Stop what?
Oh, you're distracting me, Bubs.
I never would.
Bubs.
All right, babes. Let's kiss for real.
Okay.
None of your shenanigans this time.
And by the way, you're the one with the shenanigans.
Don't worry about what I do, babes.
You're the one with the funny antics, Bubs.
I believe in being serious all the time, as you know.
No, it's not good to be serious all the time.
Ah, well, that's what I believe in, babes. You already know that.
Hey, who's doing distraction while we're kissing, Bubs?
Well, I'm not here to point fingers, babes.
I am.
Whoa, what else?
Okay, anyway.
All right, let's wrap this up, get some snacks, and play with some pads.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.